to Stitches and Sundries. This is a Flosstube episode 53. I always have to think about that. This is a podcast about cross stitch and stitchy goodness. My name is Lauren. You can find me on Instagram at LaurenUpStitching. And I'm recording this on January 11th. So I was hoping to get it recorded and edited in the same day. That's not going to happen. Oh well, life is hard. If you are new here, I do small-ish projects. Like I feel like everybody does so much bigger projects than I do. And I am working my way through organizing my entire stash. If you've been with me for a while, thank you so much. You all are so wonderful. Like, I don't know why I'm worth sticking around for, but I appreciate it. Hopefully it's because I have a biting wit. No, it's not. But I am, let me think here. It's been 2 weeks. The last time I recorded was between Christmas and New Year's, and like nothing has happened. We had a game day on New Year's Day with some friends. That was really nice. Got in a stitch and bitch, which I'll talk to you about later. But otherwise, it's been really quiet. Been stitching. So I have one fully finished object. 5 whips and a new start. And yeah, I don't have much else to say, so I'm just going to jump into some cross stitch stitchy goodness. So let me start with fully finished object. Yeah, that's a good idea. Start. My brain is like everywhere today. So this is Cabinet of Curiosities by Innocent Bones. This was in her Mood subscription box. I did a color alteration on it, and this is not the fabric that is provided, but I love the finished product. I finished this in a hoop because I changed the fabric, the size changed. I think the fabric she provides is 16 count, and I did this on 28 count over 2, so it's it was slightly bigger, so I need a different hoop. I don't know where I got this hoop. I think it was the Witchy Stitcher. I bought a couple things. I just threw a hoop in there. But yeah, I love it. I love the dark outer and the light inner. Like, that looks really good. Finish this up. Put a little ribbon on a tie to hang it. And I really love that. I got an embroidered piece from my dad for Christmas. He thought he was buying a cross stitch kit, and he was buying it's a moth, and it's been machine embroidered. It's really pretty, and it was in a hoop, and it had this ribbon tie that I dissected to figure out how they did it, and so now I can do it, and it looks really nice. It looks really clean and neat, so I'll be doing that in the future. And yeah, so that is up on my wall of nature and bugs and fun stuff. So I'm really happy to have that done. So that I finished right before the end of the year. So that makes, I think that still makes it 22 projects for 2022. 22 finishes in 2022, which is pretty damn good. Not quite 100% increase over last year, but close. So let me go into whips. So this is Hellraiser by me via the Witchy Stitcher. I designed this pattern myself using the Witchy Stitcher's Candyman pattern as a reference because I wanted it to be a sister piece. I got her permission and did all the stuff you're supposed to do so that, but she was incredibly lovely about it. So here is, I think I showed this fairly. I'm not going to put it in progress. You know what? Fine. Here's where I was. I'm so just indecisive about this. Here's where I was. I don't remember where I was last time, so it saves me like 2 seconds in editing. Not really even. Like, I can do it very quickly now. But for some reason, I'm indecisive about it. And here's where I am. So, So I need like a board behind this. I have gotten all the chains are done all the way around. I filled in more of the gold in the center. The coin is finished. And I started on the quote around the edges. So a lot of progress on this one. This one is going very quickly. And so I foresee having this done relatively soon. And I already know what I'm putting into my rotation for it. So yeah, that is coming along really, really nicely. It is pretty fun to work on. Like the colors are really nice. This gold in the center just like pops. And which makes sense because the puzzle box is kind of supposed to like tempt you. It's all like golden and like beautiful. So that's really turning out nicely. That fade is looking great. So yeah, good progress on that. I worked on this before the end of the year. And then I decided to completely change up how I'm doing my rotation. So for 2023, a big goal for me is to organize all my cross stitch, pretty much everything. I want to have completely organized. I've completely finished organizing my fabric. So all my fabric is in binders, labeled, you know, completely laid out, measured. I know exactly what I have. I need to use some of it before I replace some of it because some of the binders cannot close. But that was one thing done. I also want to organize all my floss and my finishes that aren't fully finished. Because if something gets fully finished, like I know what I'm doing with it. Like I have a plan when I fully finish something. But I have a couple of finished but not fully finished pieces that I need to organize. I think I have four of those. I also want to organize in here a little bit. My frames are getting out of control again. I collect frames. I will do a frame like breakdown one day. But part of that organization is to organize mentally as well. I was doing a 1 month rotation, so each month had 4 projects in it, roughly. Maybe 5 if it was something small. And then it would change out every month. So I'd go about every 3rd month, come back to a rotation. Well, that's like 3 months without making progress sometimes. Especially if you're like, okay, I'm working on these 4 things and I worked on one really heavily. I wanted to get it finished. Well, one might have got neglected and it doesn't come around again for another 3 months. Like, you know, that's really hard to make progress. And I'm a progress person. I like to see the finished product. So I just felt like it wasn't working. It wasn't like demotivating or anything like that, but just felt like it wasn't working. So I am taking a different approach, and I'm going to do weekly rotations instead. So 4 weeks in a month, give or take, and each week will have a focus piece. So this past week it was the Colossal Octopus, which I'll show here in a second, and then it has a backup piece and then like maybe another piece in there, so like 2 backup pieces of just like your board. You can pick one of these other pieces. So in 4 weeks, you know, I can go through 4 different larger pieces as focus pieces, and then a backup, and those backups might not change between those. Like if I'm really enjoying working on Hellraiser, it might stay the backup piece for a while, but it's only a couple weeks, not a couple months that it's sticking around. So I feel like that will make a little bit of a difference. Sorry, I've got like, my sister's getting a cold, which means I'm getting a cold. Or she's like battling a cold. I feel like I'm getting a cold. Hang on, I'm gonna take a drink of tea. So that is, I'm hoping that will make a difference in being both motivating and letting me make progress and keeping things changed up. So my focus piece this past week, the first week in January, which I also kind of like recording in the middle of the week, because it means you get to see kind of 2 weeks worth of stuff. So almost 3 weeks worth of stuff. So this is Colossal Octopus by Unconventional X Stitch. It is a full coverage piece I am doing on 18 count easy grid, and this is my progress. It's coming. It's not the most riveting progress you've ever seen in your life. I finished another diagonal. I probably stitched on this 3 or 4 evenings, but not like good evenings. Like evenings where I only had like an hour to work on it. And I'm working my way down the masts. There's nothing really new. I think you can see some new ropes maybe. I'm very lucky to have something to show, because I saw someone on, I think it was TikTok, where the whole top 8 pages were black, which would drive me crazy. But you might make progress way faster. This is going pretty well for what it is. It was my focus piece, but I'd also just made a ton of progress on it in November and December. So I think I'm getting a little burnt out. So taking a couple weeks off from it, I'll probably be way more focused next time it comes around. But yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. All that white. I had something else about this. I'm not even 10% done, which I guess is normal. Like, I feel like that is so little progress, but I'm used to much smaller pieces, so I'm getting used to this. I'm getting used to this guy. I definitely want to do some different full coverage pieces because I don't think this is a good representation of it. Anyway, so I'm going to set this guy down. I do enjoy it though. I mean, when I can get going in like the white areas, I can see why people find that very soothing. Like, probably doing 8 pages of black wouldn't be as bad as I think. So my backup piece for that week is, one of them is Tea Time. This is a Riolis kit. And here's where I was. And I made a little bit of progress on this. So I believe all of this wall is now filled in and done. So all this little cap up top is not, obviously, but all this is filled in and done. The honey pot is really starting to fill in. The lemon wedge is starting to fill in. I also kind of got a smattering of stuff done over here, where I was just like filling in. There's like 2 stitches of this color, 4 stitches of this color. So I just kind of like got a little bit of things filled in a bit over there. So I have crossed the 50% mark on the crosses. This has an amount of backstitch, not a terrible amount of backstitch on it. But there is also a shelf under all this, and then drawers, outlines of drawers for the different tees down here. So all that isn't done either. But my goal is right now to stitch everything to the right, I guess it would be to the left of the flowers, and get that done, because then I can fully move my Q-snap instead of working back and forth a little bit. So that is my goal. I could get a bigger Q-snap, but I don't want to. Yeah, so this is coming along really well. I want to have this done by summer. I think that's a doable goal. I would like to have it done because turquoise or this teal and yellow are my summer colors for my decorating. And that's why I chose this pattern. So I'd like to have it done for summer, to have it up in my kitchen. I think that would be this is a house that lives on tea time, so I'm excited to have that. And The other backup, sort of, is a new start. So my awesome friends, Mary and Ruth, were over with a bunch of other people for New Year's Day. I'm sorry, I'm just pulling little pieces off. For New Year's Day. And my friend Mary suggested doing a stitch along with all of us. And originally, I think we were thinking of we looked at doing a crochet stitch along, which I think we all crochet, but at different experience levels. So it was decided to do a cross stitch. And so we looked through a couple different sets on Etsy of things that had like 3 or more like sets. Instead of us all doing the exact same one, we could all do something in a set. And decided on these dinosaurs from Happy Little Mouse. They're very cute, these dino skeletons. And so we each picked one, and I am doing the Stegosaurus. And my friend Mary is doing the Brontosaurus, I think, the long neck. And Ruth is doing the motherfucking pterodactyl, because, of course. So we all got started together at a Stitch and Bitch the next weekend. And so we all started. And Mary and I are doing ours on 14 count black Aida. And Ruth stole some of the black 28 count, I think it's Cashel linen, that I'm using for Hellraiser. Because she is better than I am. I'm ready to throw that stuff out. But I stitched I think I stitched like 6 or 8 projects on that black. I'm done with that black. So I did black Aida because it was easy. Made me happy. So here's my progress so far. So I've got some of the flora. Some of the flora around the edges. And the kind of outline or accent of the skeleton started there. I will get the bright white out. It's just in another project. So I'll get the white out and start working on that skeleton. And yeah, it is coming along really nicely. It's a fun project. It's very colorful. I only have like 3 of the colors in, but there's some like bright pinks and purples, and it's just very colorful and very like nice stitching, just like potato chip stitching. So I am really enjoying this, and it's wonderful to do this with friends, like to do an actual stitch along with people I see in real life. So that's fun. I don't know if the addiction will catch on, but if it does, that's not a bad thing. They're both incredibly talented knitters and crocheters, and I think Mary does literally every craft. And Ruth does embroidery, so just another craft to add to our repertoire, right? Like, we all need that. Another craft. One of the things I'm going to be doing as part of my floss organization is making floss books, which I saw on Instagram. I'll put the woman's tag here. I can't remember her number, her Instagram tag. But she makes these really cool floss books. And she's gone from Instagram for like, I think most of 2022, like for a chunk of 2022. And I couldn't get a hold of her to buy one. So I was like, I will learn how to make them. So I'm going to make some floss books. And that's my new craft. I've got about 100 organizational crafts, if that counts. I think it counts. Like, it's like scrapbooking, right? That's an organizational craft. So, another whip that I have, I think I did this before the end of the year as well. I might have. So this one I forgot about because it wasn't in my lineup over here. This is another song lyric in my song lyric tapestry project. So for people that don't know, I'm doing a project. This is only my second one, so it's not like it's very far along yet. I'm doing a project where I'm going to use up my scraps of fabrics by stitching lyrics from songs that I love and putting them all together in like a scrappy wall hanging. that will then have the Spotify code to go to the playlist with those songs in it. And I think that'll be a fun way to use up scrap fabric, use up, and to just like music super awesome and important to me. So I thought it'd be a fun project. So this is a scrap of 14 count Cameo Peach Aida that I found while I was organizing. And I stitched a verse from the song is called Fuck a Bomb by Hey Steve. I've changed their band name a couple times. By Hey Steve. And it is a super fun, irreverent song. And I really like it. It's one of the, like, when my sister gets in my car, she always like plays the same 3 songs. And this is one of them. And the lyric says, put roses in your rifle, put a bullet on your hit, put your volume to 11 and hit the switch. And I like this lyric a lot because it has a lot of wordplay in it. I think it's a very smart song in a goofy way. And put roses in your rifle, obviously a reference to Guns N' Roses. Put a bullet on your hit. A bullet in music is a song that hits the charts very high. So if your song hits the charts, like the first time it's out, it hits the charts at like a 5, and it's rising very quickly, that's a bullet. If it's on its way to number 1 very quickly, that's a bullet song. So put a bullet on your hit. Put your volume to 11 is a reference to Spinal Tap, and hit the switch, just go. But yeah, I love this song, and I wanted it on in this bright red floss, so this kind of off-white Aida was perfect. I did the font I used is from Climbing Goat Designs, and it's their Pipistrelle Dolphin font. All their fonts are named after animals. And I bought 2 font collections from them to just have to go through when I'm like looking at song lyrics. And this one was just so sharp and cramped. I just felt like it was so perfect for this. And yeah, really super happy with how that turned out. I freaking hate French knots though, so I'd like people to stop using them. I hate French knots. Like, I can't do them. I don't know what's wrong with me that I can't do French knots, but I hate them. And my last whip. So this is my focus piece for this week. And it is Schoolhouse Sampler by StoneyCreek. I'm going to try to get in there. And this is where I was last time. Put it up there. And I've got progress. It feels like a lot of progress, but it doesn't look like a lot of progress. It just feels that way. So I have been working up here above the schoolhouse in this section. And I got all the books silhouetted, all the bells stitched, and started working down here in this this checkerboard border. And I'm going to get that in and done and start working on some back stitching. So I wanted to get all the bells stitched. That was my first reason for I had started over here, I was working over here, and then I was like, we're getting these bells done because they all use blending filament. I don't know if it's catching the glitter very well, a little bit. And that stuff is hard to work with, man. It's like working with rusty wire. It just catches and pulls and tugs, and it's just not a fun experience. But it kind of is worth it. Like, the results you get, like in person, these bells look amazing. They glitter and look golden. They look exactly like what you'd want. So it's worth it. But man, I'm glad it was only in a couple small little spots. It's also in the bell on the schoolhouse. And once I get those outlined nicely, they'll really pop. So yeah, I'm really going to try and get this kind of like boxed in blue area done and start on some back stitching. And I'll work down here in the back stitching as well, try and get this outlined. So it's coming along. I am Oh, let me look. Have I passed 50% in this? I don't think I have. I don't think I have. I've also made myself a problem because I started a new book for the new year. So now I have 2 books because there are still unfinished projects in this book. So, yeah, 53%. 53%. I passed the 50% mark in this one too. Yay. Yay. Wait, have I not passed it in tea time? Now I'm questioning myself. What if I haven't? Tea time. Let's look. 41%. I lied. I'm not past 50. I'm past 50 in this. I'm past 50% in this. Just in knit crosses. There's so much backstitching in this sucker. I can get a full look. There's so much backstitching in this. That's why I'm starting kind of now. Like, I can't leave it to the end because it will be so much backstitching. So, yeah, this is coming along. I already have my next gift stitch chosen. So, yeah, I'm pleased with it. I'm pleased with it. It does stitch nicely. That is everything that I have. I don't have any haul this time, which is unusual for me. I feel like I'm always doing something. I don't have any haul. I don't have anything upcoming. Nothing crazy going on. So I guess I'll just be back in 2 more weeks with updates. And I hope you all have a wonderful January. I hope you stay warm, or I guess if you're in the southern hemisphere, stay cool. And stay safe, stay sane. I love you. Bye.